to Lincoln, Nebraska to clash with the Cornhuskers in their annual rivalry game. And this was the final game of the bruising and battering Big Ten West for each team. The Cornhuskers hope to hoist the Heroes Game trophy for the second time in a row and achieve bowl eligibility for the first time since 2016. However, the Hawkeyes held the upper hand in their past 5 meetings 4-1. After a few follies in the first quarter, including a Husker hand hindering a Hawks field goal flight, the Fightin' Ferences found their way down the field and found a touchdown after a deke sneak from the 1-yard line, giving Iowa a 7-0 lead. Much to the chagrin of the underbettors, who hoped the point total would stay below the teensy 24-point total. On the next drive, the Huskers mishandled the football and the Hawks' dominant defense hopped on the oblong oval. The Hawkeyes then converted a kick for 3 and took a commanding 10-0 lead. The Huskers' hopes had dwindled, but then a third down Purdy pass pierced the Iowa defense for 66 yards and a touchdown, taking the total to 15 and a 10-7 Hawkeyes lead. The Hawkeyes then methodically moved the moleskin into field goal range, but again another Husker hand hit the pointy pigskin, blocking the field goal chance. After halftime, Nebraska notched a field goal to knot the scoreboard at 10s midway through the third quarter. On the next few drives, a plethora of punts pounded the playing surface, much to the delight of some in the crowd, closed with the word punts plastered across their chest. Nebraska then dashed and darted into field goal range with 5 minutes left and attempted a field goal, but the football fluttered wide left, leaving the two teams tied at 10. Both teams tried to push the pigskin past each other's determined defenses, but neither could move much. As we approached the final minute, the two teams remained tied, and the Hawkeyes attempted to advance for the game-winning score. With 31 seconds left, a Deacon Hill heave was intercepted by the Huskers, but a holding penalty after the interception pushed the ball back to the Huskers' 45-yard line. The super sophomore Purdy picked up 3 yards on first down, but on second down, a sneaky defensive end was sent in coverage and plucked the peanut out of the air for an Iowa interception. The Hawkeyes now had it in Husker territory with 15 seconds left on the clock. The hard-nosed Hawkeyes running back LaShawn Williams cut through the Cornhuskers for a 22-yard run and put them in prime position for the win. In a momentous moment, Iowa sent on their backup kicker Marshall Meter for his first ever kick for the Hawkeyes, a 38-yarder for the win. Marshall muscled up and mashed the moleskin straight through the uprights for the Hawkeyes' victory, and the Huskers' hopes of a bowl game were dashed in the dying seconds. Iowa 13, Nebraska 10.
Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos Committee podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of November 26, 2023. We have dad tired. We've got sick kid tired. We have sick and in-law tired. We have driving tired. But you guys don't give a fuck about that. So we're going to bring energy to this game. Right, guys?
Right.
Woo.
Yes. That's what I love to hear. We need improv group energy. Come on, guys. That's what we are. We're just the world's worst improv troupe.
No, but.
No, but. No, buts. That's what you need. As always, I'm Jordan. With me tonight, I've got Commish, Beth, Pitt Girl, and Arthur on the 1s and 2s. Commish, how's your tired?
Exhaustion.
Yes. This is going to be for a while, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Sickos Committee has a normal one.
Never. Pitt Girl, how's your tired?
I drove back from Massachusetts today, so that was cool.
And Beth, you're tired?
I'm great. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, no. Oh, I just want to give you a hug. Well, we'll talk about my tired later on, because not only did I stay up past the Hawaii test, I also was trying to do bowl math at 2 a.m. I want to start just opening this thing by talking about a game that we didn't even preview. The Iron Bowl.
Oh, God.
Because Auburn had the stupidest last 30 seconds I've ever seen in a football game.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen Alex Kirchner do all caps on Twitter.
Oh, jeez.
But he did for this, because on a 4th and 31, Auburn decided to let Jalen Milrose just hang out in the pocket and lob it into the end zone. This was some Auburn bullshit.
Ball, in fact, goed there.
And they had just one dude on the quarterback spy.
Mm-hmm.
Was Jalen Milrose going to scramble for 25 yards? No, that's not a first down. The game ends. He had to get 31.
I'm not going to put it past them that Auburn would allow a 31-yard scramble for a touchdown, though.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't.
That could have happened. I'm just going to say that. It's Auburn. Yeah, it's pretty good. The way that game ended, I was just waiting for the shoe to drop for Auburn. And it did, and it was just like
I felt the same way I did in the double overtime Iron Bowl, where Auburn was ahead. I was like, nope, they're gonna fuck this.
There's something's gonna happen. The shoe's gonna drop. I don't know what they did pass rush wise, where they only rushed 2, and then they had the quarterback spy
doing nothing. Doing nothing.
That was
Pastor
a lot
Hugh thought. Pastor Hugh thought that they were going to get raptured, and this is why you have to trust that none shall know the day or the hour, Pastor Hugh. You can't just count on getting raptured.
I just want you all to know that I watched this game with obnoxiously Pitt Dad, who, as I have mentioned on this podcast before, is an Auburn fan.
Oh no.
It was a time.
How do you take it?
I've seen worse.
There you go. We are not going to talk about coaching hires and fires up front. We'll mention a couple of them as we go along. But that's also, just so you all know, this is here. But we got a lot of games to talk about.
There's been a lot of firings. There's probably going to be some more tomorrow, more than while we're recording. So we're probably going to miss some. So hopefully by Tuesday night recording, everything's good. Beth, I had a question. Like you mentioned the rapture.
Mm-hmm.
What book is that in the Bible?
It's not.
Oh, it's not. Okay, all right.
Well, so there's a passage in Revelation that talks about believers being caught up into the clouds.
I thought it was in the book of Revelation.
I'm sorry, Revelation.
Okay, there you go. I was going for it, but
he walked into it. He opened the door to you, and you just.
I tried. Damn it. All right.
So we were watching for bowl eligibility on Saturday and Friday and Thursday and Tuesday, and we were keeping track of bowl eligibility, and it looked really close for JMU and Jacksonville State, because they had to get a certain number of teams out. And there was a run in the middle of the day on Saturday where all the bowl teams that needed to win were winning.
Yeah.
And it really was getting close. But with the night game, when Clemson beat South Carolina, they got them in. That means we end up with Jacksonville State and JMU going to bowl games, and we get one 5-7 team going in as well. Minnesota, with the best APR of the 5-7 teams, slides into a bowl game at the last minute. Also, I was talking earlier, I stayed past the Hawaii test because some of our followers were like, well, wait a second. Navy plays Army next week. Let's talk about that. And Brett McMurphy, who's great on Twitter about knowing all the bowl stuff, said, no, Army or Navy has to be bowl eligible by this week, or else, because the Army Navy game is 2 weeks from now, they can't plan for a bowl that late. And our followers were like, well, show me where it says that. And I go, that should be easy. It's only 2 a.m. I can read NCAA regulations at 2 a.m.
Show me the regulations.
I spent an extra hour I was up till 3 trying to figure this out.
I just want to shout out 2 conferences in particular, the Big Ten and the SEC.
Okay.
They really pulled their weight this weekend, getting James Madison and Jacksonville State into bowl games.
They did. SEC dropped a couple of important games against ACC opponents, actually, which is even funnier. And then the Big Ten ate themselves. So let's rewind some time. Think back to what we're doing on Thursday. We had the most rock-fighty Egg Bowl I've ever seen. Nothing of interest really to me happened during the game, except Mississippi State's coach coming out on a 4-wheeler. And when asked why, he gave the most coach-ass answer I've ever heard, which was something about adversity.
This is a life lesson. It's about adversity. I think I have the video somewhere. What
was the adversity that he'd never gotten?
Okay, so
he'd never gotten to ride a 4-wheel before?
No, I found the story that they referenced, and I kind of ruined it for people because it was about somebody that was. I don't want to ruin it for the podcast, but somebody was paralyzed and they were having trouble getting on the ATV, so they kept trying to get on the ATV to ride it over and over again. They finally did it, and they loved the story so much. One of the Mississippi State folks were like, hey, what if we bring an ATV into the locker room? So they did that, and then they won the last week. And then they did it for the Egg Bowl, and it's the only game on, and he's riding the ATV out in the stadium. It's just beautiful.
It's such fucking coach. Like okay, now that there's a story to it, I get that. Yeah. But this absolutely feels the kind of thing that like.
But nobody knows this. Nobody knows this story. So like, if you're just getting this on TV and you're like in a turkey coma, it just and then this guy comes out on an ATV and it's the only game on essentially, like college football wise. I'm not recognizing the NFL, and so he comes out and then like Cole.
Here we go.
Coach Knox, nothing is normal about the Egg Bowl. Why are you bringing the team out on this four-wheeler?
This is about handling adversity, opposition. When you face things that's tough in life, this is a life lesson, right? And this is what we learned, right? In 11 days I've been here. This is a life lesson.
That's such coach speech.
I've been here 11 days and my life lessons is to ride a four-wheeler.
This is about 11 days.
And you know what? If they were Auburn, that they would have a new mascot now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. War Dam four-wheeler. Hell yeah. Ole Miss won this. This game was never in question, really.
No.
It was just a beatdown.
There was a brief Mississippi State lead, but that went away rather quickly. This was an Egg Bowl without any turnovers. This threw me off.
That's weird.
It was incredible. It was just, and everybody's like, "This is a big." There was like 8 punts in a row or 9 punts in a row to start the game. And then everybody starts making the Big Ten West jokes. They were making a comparison, but really, it was just a great classic Egg Bowl. It was a perfect capper. As soon as the Egg Bowl was over, I was like, I'm going to bed.
Yep, it was great. I was like, I'm done.
Like fourth quarter, I'm like falling asleep. Oh, they're about to fight. I'm awake.
Well, people made the Big Ten West jokes until we got our game of the week. We chose correctly. Iowa at Nebraska. 13-10, Iowa wins. The under hits. Every under hits. And everyone was panicking because this looked like it was going to overtime. And the over was just going to get, like, the over's going to get hit. But nope. Iowa manages a field goal at the end. 13-10. 10-win Iowa, baby. And Brian Ferentz is no longer wearing Iowa gear. He's just wearing,
just like all
nameless black tech. It's great.
Just like he had a Carhartt hat on.
Oh, it's so good.
I was just like, they won't let him dress up in Iowa clothes anymore. I don't know.
Or I was thinking this is a protest. Either way, this game was beautiful. Nebraska fans, I am so sorry. Like, you all had this. It was a heartbreaker. It was so painful to watch Nebraska fans be like, we got this. Oh, fuck, we're doing it again.
I was like, okay. When they missed the 44-yarder, that wasn't even close with like 5 minutes to go.
Oh, not even the ballpark.
And I was like it was a whole set of goalposts to the left. Now, I know it was windy, but it was not close. And I was like, oh God, here it's going to happen again. And then like Iowa throws the interception. I'm like, oh wow, like Nebraska's in Iowa territory already. All they need is a field goal. But in the return of the Deacon Hill interception, there was holding, and then that put him back in Nebraska territory. And I was like, oh no.
And then what did they fucking do?
Look, I'm going to give a shout out to the Iowa defense here, because you got like a sophomore quarterback in like his second start for Nebraska. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to go on a game-winning drive against this incredible Hawkeyes defense. They pull the defensive end and send him to the middle. Like a beautiful play call to be like a robber, like in the middle. And there's no way for the quarterback to
stares Chubba Purdy down the whole time. He doesn't see him at all.
He doesn't see him. And he's like right by the was it the umpire in the middle?
Yep.
He's just there. And he couldn't see him, because he came from the left, like the defensive end, and like you wouldn't expect that. And that's kind of like an advanced move, and this is why the Iowa's defense is so good, and they keep getting away with the bullshit, which is amazing. That move, and then the defensive end just like catches it, like perfectly in his hands above his head, because if that guy wasn't there, that was a first down for Nebraska.
Yep. And
then they return it, then they get like a knifing 22-yard run, then the kick. The 38-yarder.
Was it their normal field goal kicker?
It was not.
Was it a dude who's ever kicked a fucking field goal before this year?
No.
No.
Never kicked anything for Iowa, ever.
Marshall Meter is his name.
That's right.
And Kirk there said, he's been looking good in practice. Okay, Kirk. Sure. Whatever, man. Nothing matters anymore. Nihilist Iowa.
This game finally broke Puddles. This is the game that broke my dad. Yeah. I'm cooking upstairs because our Thanksgiving is on Saturday. And he comes upstairs and he's like, they didn't hit the over-under. Again, they didn't hit the over-under. He's like, I think they need to bring Brian back. I think it's important. He's like, you can't fire a guy when he's won that many games. You just can't. I mean, they can't. They have to bring him back. And I'm like, Dad, I don't think. He's like, no, they have to. And like, he gets like this wild, feverish look in his eyes. And the next 20 minutes are spent explaining like his like string diagram theory about how Brian Ferentz can't be fired. And I'm like, what have I done to my family?
That is 10-2, 7-2 in conference. Really close to 8-1 in conference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
really should have been 8-1 in conference. That's not a bad fair catch signal, kids.
Yeah, like in retrospect, that's the only game they got mauled in was the Penn State game, really.
Yeah.
And we're living in this world.
Yeah,
Iowa
like that probably ought to be a playoff team.
God, Beth, I know you're sick, so I'm not going to say anything, but you need some medication. You're getting feverish.
Hold on. She needs some medication. Sorry, I got...
Beth's got a fever, and the only cure is more Iowa.
More Hawkeyes, yeah. Oh,
that's
God.
clear at this point.
Iowa, this performance art of a season, like, I have seen performance art of a woman naked shoving yams up her ass.
What?
And this...
I hate to say that I'm going to need you to say more about that, but I'm going to need you to say a little bit more about that.
I don't remember much more than that, honestly.
Okay.
Was this at Dartmouth?
This was a.
Oh, did this really happen? Did this really happen, or was it a hallucination?
Oh, this was real. Trust me. This is real.
I haven't said why I had to do this, but that's fine.
It's okay. We'll get there. It'll be towards the end. It'll be great. Just keep going.
It'll be great. Anticipation.
Yeah, just wait for the joke. That always works out with this podcast.
Yes, because we always land our punchlines 2 hours later. So Iowa, salute. I don't care what happens in the Big Ten title game. You guys deserve everything you could get.
Don't you?
We can preview that. Look. I am so... man. Like, doing this committee thing has been... I hurt for Nebraska. I really do. Like, I feel like I'm a Huskers fan now. I like the 3-9, like, heartbreaking one possession losses in 2021. Last year, had the frost. It was just a mess. This year, I feel like they've gotten better. Like, I feel like they've improved. They've improved. Their offense is not there yet, which, again, this is kind of like a Matt Rule thing. Like, he takes a little while to get going.
This is the fastest Matt Rule rebuild I've ever seen, though.
Yes. I mean, he's got pieces there. He's got some, like, the defense is amazing. I don't know if they lose their coordinator. I don't know what they need to do. They need to stop turning the fucking ball over because it is a plague upon the Husker Nation. They led the NCAA in turnovers. You take away maybe 10 of those, they're comfortably a bowl team. You take away like 2 of those, they're probably a bowl team. Maybe 1 you take away, they're a bowl team. They were negative 17 for the year.
That's nuts.
It's absolutely insane.
Okay, let's go on past this because I could just talk for days about how beautiful this thing was. Even folks that don't like our shtick that were watching this game was like, this is mesmerizing. I can't look away from this.
I'm really sad I missed it.
It's fucking performance art.
No, it's just something that this game is just, it's still a football game. The goals are still the same. Like, you're trying to score more points than the other team. It's just that both teams can't do it very well, and because they're built kind of lopsided, it feels like me trying to do like the Pinewood Car Derby.
Yep.
And like Boy Scouts, like I could not make the real wheels like roll at all. I couldn't figure it out. Like I couldn't carve it to get them to roll. I couldn't do it. But still, I finished second. For some odd reason, I finished second because there was only 2 entrants.
Yep.
So I got second.
That is the epitome of the Big Ten West.
And
Well,
that's
actually,
what
you know what? Fuck it. I can't say it. Do you know why? They have the same conference record as Penn State. Wrap your fucking heads around that. Penn State is 7-2 in conference. So is Iowa.
There's something about the committee
That's
game.
because they're the same.
Oh yeah. Hey, Penn State fans.
Hi, Penn State
hope,
fans.
Shout out to one of our giant UConn fans that we follow. Also, I believe it's St. Bonaventure fan for college basketball. Little Bona X or whatever, being incredibly upset that we chose this one for the game of the week. And he was like, screw you, I'm betting the over just to spite us for this. So sorry that it didn't work out for you with the over on this one. We still love you, though.
Miami 45, Boston College 20. This wasn't as dumb as I thought it was going to be. This was on God's own ABC, and Miami just sort of went to Boston College and took care of business.
Yeah, it was very uneventful. There was this weird thing that happened like right before halftime, and I was really, really confused by what had occurred. So I'm trying to get the play sequence real quick, if I can get it.
Go for it. While Commish is doing that, Memphis 45, Temple 21.
All right, so here was the play. It was the last second of the first half.
Okay.
Castellanos throws a pass to the end zone, a Hail Mary, and Miami intercepts it, and then returns it 55 yards to the Boston College 45. There was a penalty on Boston College, holding, but then Miami had a penalty, holding in the return. So both of those offset. Holding on, like before the Hail Mary, holding after the Hail Mary was intercepted. So both of those penalties offset. And they couldn't realize that they had to replay the down. And they're just like, oh, we're just going to halftime.
Oh, okay. Yep, I remember this.
It was so stupid. I was like, why are they? I was like, oh God, what did Mario Cristobal do? Just like, I was like, he did something. But it turned out it was just ACC refs.
All those Pac-12 fans, all those Stanford and Cal fans are like, finally, we're going to go away from these ACC refs. Nah, man, they're just coming with you to a different coast. You're not getting away from them. They're not going elsewhere. Ohio 25, Akron 14. Ohio manages to win this one. Akron had a really good second quarter and were up for a bit, but then just couldn't hold on to it. Might be the Undercuffler's farewell. I think this is his last game.
He walked for senior. He said he's listed as a redshirt senior, but I mean, we will follow your career with great interest, Jeff Undercuffler.
Jeff Undercuffler just has the vibes of backup quarterback at Saskatchewan. Just has that in my soul. I can
see that. I can see that. Yeah, definitely. I want to see Undercuffler in the CFL.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
TCU 45, Oklahoma 69. Holy bejesus. TCU all of a sudden had life and tried to claw back into this thing, but early on, Oklahoma was just destroying them. It was a hard game to watch on the quad box. And the fun fact here is that every quarter of this game outscored Iowa and Nebraska.
So every quarter of this game outscored Iowa and Nebraska. I believe we got that from the Fullcast After Dark last night with that, or somebody pointed out to us on Twitter too. I think they tagged both of us.
I think they tagged.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you for the tag. We appreciate it. I can't remember who it is because Saturdays are just it's hard to remember shit. Yeah, the first quarter it was 14-13, and keep in mind Iowa Nebraska was 13-10, right? The second quarter was 28-3. Yeah, so that beats the 13-10. Third quarter was 22-10. Fourth quarter was 17-7. So yeah, it didn't come close except maybe the first quarter.
That was on at the same time as the other game.
Yes.
If you watched both of those games on the same quad box, they say don't do heroin and speed at the same time. That's what this is, okay?
Cowards.
This is the vodka Red Bull of football pairings. I wonder how Gatorade.
Jaeger Red Bull right there.
What's that Gatorade?
Fast
Fast
Twitch?
That one. What if
Yeah.
you mixed that with vodka?
Well, at least it has electrolytes, so maybe it'll help a little bit preemptively with your hangover.
There you go. Toledo Rockets 32, Central Michigan 17. Central Michigan needed this for bowl eligibility. They did not get it. The big game on Friday was the 2:30 spot, UTSA and Tulane. Tulane wins this one at home. Commish, how was your house at this point? Because this one was a little on the edge for a bit.
So I had to tell my kiddo about this one, and he was like, "Wait, they're playing each other? Like, who do I need to root for?" And so I tried to pitch him on the concept of like the divided shirt. I was like, I could take each one of your shirts for each, like Tulane and UTSA, and cut it in half, and then sew them together so you have one half one half the other. And he looked at me like, "No, that's stupid."
Smart child. From the mouths of babes.
He was like, "No, that's stupid." I was like, and then my wife and I, we can't watch our teams. I can't watch Tulane because I will force them to to lose essentially, or it'll just be close and just too much drama.
You watched the Utah State double overtime thriller instead, didn't you?
Yes, I watched Utah State, New Mexico instead, because we could not have this on in our household. And my son, after, he was just like, "That's okay, they'll have a rematch." And so I guess he had a lot of faith in Navy to beat SMU. So I didn't know. My son was feeling the midshipman upset, which probably wasn't too close.
Not the best choice. I just realized, Commish, we could get one West Virginia and one Pitt shirt, get 2 house divided shirts out of that, and send it to our 2 friends.
I beg you to not. I think Beth would also beg you to not if she had enough voice to beg with.
This is efficient.
My house is in no way divided.
This is efficient. This is like those get along shirts. We need to get them a get along shirt for the next brawl.
That I approve of.
Noted not getting along people. Pitt Girl and I.
You guys are the perfect example of that Pitt and West Virginia fans could get along. You can show that at the next brawl by wearing a shirt together. Get things thrown out by both sides.
We can sit in the section I sat in during the 2022 brawl next to the West Virginia band in our get along shirt.
There you go.
Yeah. So my dad watched this whole game.
Yes. How did your dad? Yes. So what did you get?
My here we go. We can go back to some dad texts here. He was just like, he got back from Houston in time to watch it, record time, and he says, "UTSA versus Wave on ABC. I'm set." So I respond back to him, "Gonna be a tough one." He goes, "Yes, I see." I was like, "Should be a good game, but it will be tough." He says, "I'm on it." So, I don't get any updates. A couple hours go by. UTSA turnovers and refs hurt the Roadrunners so far. Good team, good coaching. And then I get nothing after the game. It's just like, I sent him a text. I'm like, "Roll Wave." I get nothing until yesterday on Saturday. And he goes, "Home field. What bowl wants them?" I was like, "I don't know. We got a while to do that."
I love it.
And then
dad texts are so
today, out of nowhere, yes, the Wave played their best game of late.
There you go. Facts. Done.
All delayed.
This was a lot of fun. Because SMU took care of business against Navy, Tulane will be hosting SMU for the American Conference Championship game next week in New Orleans. At the same time, Utah State 44, New Mexico 41 in a double overtime thriller.
Woo!
Yeah.
And New Mexico State had the chance to go over the throat, and they didn't. And that killed me.
Did you say New Mexico State?
I meant New Mexico, sorry.
Beth, say the line.
I can't.
I will say it for you. Come back with your sword or on it.
Yes. I think it's Shield?
No.
Okay. This was New Mexico.
Either winners or kebabs. There's nothing else.
Yeah, there was
winners or kebabs is so good.
I think the combined most total penalty yards in a game was 269. This one hit it with 338 combined penalty yards.
Yeah.
It was insane.
One of the last drives had 45 penalty yards, I believe.
It was yeah, the one for New Mexico, they got all the way down to tie. It had that many yards to tie, and they kicked a 22-yarder to tie, which was kind of just like, come on, just go for the win here. Like do this. You got nothing to play for. Let's go win it.
It was really. I was watching this live because it was like the most compelling game in the quad box at this time. I think just other games had wrapped up. This one was going on. Watching like the penalty calls that were coming out, it felt like someone was kind of like rolling D20 for penalty. Like there would be one play and it's like pass interference, and like even the announcers were kind of, which when it's like a TV broadcast crew and they're sort of like, I don't know what the refs are seeing here. Like it's got to get pretty far before, professional TV announcers will get that, will go there. And yeah, they're like, it was, I don't know what was pass interference and what wasn't. That was what the majority of the penalties were, at least in the second part of the game. And, ultimately just a kind of wild back and forth game that, New Mexico never went for the kill.
And that's one thing I was like, you had the chance. You could have went for 2 in OT at the end of the first OT. And they lined up to go for it. But then Utah State called the timeout, and they were like, no, fine, we're just going to kick the extra point now.
That, I wanted to throw something. And I saw them do that.
Look, I'm not going to say anything bad about the coach or whatever, but he did just get fired.
No, they had a separation. Mom and Dad separated. They didn't divorce.
They had a separation.
I walked into that one.
He's gone to live in a farm upstate.
Yes. He's going with new mom now.
So instead, they had a relocation.
Boise State 27, Air Force 19. Best part about all of this was that because Boise State won this and because later on UNLV lost to San Jose State, we went to the computers. But the Mountain West computers would not update on Saturday or something like that. So the Mountain West was like, we got to wait till Sunday, guys. I don't know.
They couldn't update the computer. Like Windows update, and they're like, oh, like
we can only update at 3 a.m, guys. We can't do it.
You hadn't used your laptop in about like 8 months or something, and you had to get all the updates before you could actually use your computer. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened. So ridiculous.
Air Force is broken. Who knows?
Army broke Air Force.
Yeah, Army broke Air Force. I am going to take the scene of Bane breaking Batman and superimpose the Army logo on top of that. The Battle Line Trophy. Missouri, Arkansas. Missouri 48, Arkansas 14. Missouri handled this thing. Only thing that happened, this non-rivalry had a fight in it. It got fighting. And that's really all you want in a good rivalry game, is occasionally you want someone to swing even if you're down. Hey, Vanderbilt, congratulations. You had 3 fights on 3 plays in a row against Tennessee while you were down by like 21. Good. Go for it. Take a swing. Our beautiful land-grant trophy was probably the worst game of the night. Penn State 42, Michigan State 0. Just nothing. Done. Just absolutely. Ford Field, bright lights, big city, nothing. Jonathan Smith, enjoy your time in East Lansing, whatever that looks like.
Let me just mention Michigan State's total yards for the game.
Oh, God.
53.
Yeah.
Oh.
Their total yards rushing for the game.
Your yards can't even collect Social Security yet. Oh, no.
Well, the rushing yards were negative 35.
Now remember that college football's weird because it counts sacks as minus rushing.
True.
But you should still have more than that. Unless you are running air raid.
They ran the ball 27 times.
That's bad.
The quarterback that was starting, Kate Hauser, had negative 41 yards rushing. The backup quarterback, who had 1 pass attempt, he was 1 for 1 for 1 yard.
Hey.
With a QBR of 1.3. Shafar, I think is the name. He one carry for negative 7 yards. Alante Brown had 2 carries for a wide receiver, 2 carries for negative 11. And then they had Team I think this may have been a weird fumble or something. Negative 21 yards for the team.
Oh my god.
So Puddles used to tell a story of back in his frat boy days, because of course Puddles was a frat boy.
I cannot wait to meet Puddles. I feel like he and I are very kindred spirits.
You're spiritual twins. So Puddles would tell a story about one of his brothers who, like, Vietnam was looming. It was kind of a rough time, and he just kind of didn't go to school for a semester. And so grade time came, and he had straight Fs and 1 D. And he petitioned the dean to have the D turned into an F because the D made it look like he might have tried.
Was Puddles an Animal
Michigan
House?
State. Yes. He has often described this as a documentary. So Michigan State, do with that what you will.
Let's talk about a game that I'm excited about. I did not watch a single snap of. Texas 57, Texas Tech 7. I don't watch this game because this is a cursed, flea-bitten game that I swore would be. Commishtradamus was right yet again. Texas beat a team that they were better than, and it did not look like work.
They had this one circled, and they were even talking trash to Brett Yormark on the scoreboard.
Oh, that's great.
They had the video of the Texas Tech head coach saying that the Big 12 goes through Lubbock after Texas Tech beat Texas last year.
Mm-hmm.
So look, Texas has a phenomenal defensive line, like Devondre Sweat.
Yes.
My God, like I can't imagine trying to block him, and I'm not big at all, like, you know. But just like, even if I was 6'6", like big enough for a lineman, trying to block him, and Texas Tech didn't really have much of a chance, really. And
Nada.
The Longhorns handled business, and they're going to the Big 12 title game,
and will not be playing Oklahoma, which makes me feel better too, because Oklahoma State barely took care of business against BYU. Oregon 31, Oregon State 7. I kept waiting for Oregon State to do something, and they just didn't want to do it. They just didn't want to do it the whole night. Best thing that happened all night was that Puddles came in on the zip line. It looked awesome, because Puddles is one of the best mascots. I love it.
So I was like, okay, oh no, Puddles is ziplining in, and I immediately thought that, like, Cosmo, the mascot for BYU, is going to try to one-up Puddles, the duck.
Little did you know.
Little did I know that Cosmo's already skydived into the stadium. I should have known. I should have known better. I guess Cosmo will maybe base jump from the mountains outside the stadium into the stadium would be a little bit different, or he comes flying in hanging off of a drone or something. I have no idea. But Cosmo's already done it. It was cool to see the duck doing it, but Cosmo already did it, essentially.
Cosmo hang glider challenge.
Cosmo base jumping challenge.
Cosmo hang glider while on fire challenge.
What's the Tom Cruise thing? A halo jump? Cosmo halo jump challenge. Can you pressurize a Cosmo head? I don't know. We'll find out.
They're gonna put Cosmo in that Red Bull thing.
Mm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, the one where the dude jumps from space.
Yes,
there we go.
Cosmo's gonna jump from space now, just to one up Puddles, because people were like, "That's the best mascot," and in my head, it was Cosmo in the Michael Jordan meme, and I took that personally.
I mean, if we're talking like extreme stunts, I think just drawing from what Tom Cruise has done in Mission Impossible movies, there's a lot to work with, like hanging on the outside of an airplane, hanging off the outside of the skyscraper in Dubai. Like, there's a lot you can do.
I'm just hung up on the mental image of Cosmo jumping from space in, like, the spacesuit thing with the helmet big enough to go over the mascot head.
Mm-hmm. Or you build a mascot head around a pressurized helmet.
Mm.
I am now thinking of all my favorite Mission Impossible movies that you take Tom Cruise and sub out Puddles. Like Puddles, like on the outside of the Burj Khalifa, just with the face that never changes, always like the happy vapid smile.
Yeah, does he have any dialogue, or is it all nonverbal?
No,
okay,
it's all pantomime, and you never change the expression.
Because I was gonna say, I feel like the Oregon Duck with dialogue is just Howard the Duck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This has the same energy as those thought experiments where it's like, take a movie and everybody's Muppets except for one of the actors. My answer to this is and will always be My Cousin Vinny, but you keep Marissa Tomei.
Oh, that's a good one. I was going to say...
I would do Fight Club, but you keep Meatloaf, but that's just where I'm at.
See, I was thinking Fight Club, but Sweetums is Meatloaf. Oh, God. I always have a good... I can't remember my answer for this.
I'll go Gigli, but we keep Ben Affleck.
Oh, deep pool there. Yep. Deep pool.
No. I'm not watching that again.
Gladiator? It's just Russell Crowe. That's it.
Okay.
Waldorf and Stadler is Joaquin Phoenix.
It's co-emperors.
Not Sam the Eagle?
No.
Okay.
I like the pair. Sam the Eagle would be a good choice too.
Okay.
Are you not entertained?
I've been entertained for 20 years. We go to Saturday now, and we get to the battle for Space City, as I'm calling it. UCF and Houston. UCF wins, and Dana Holgerson is gone.
I'm sorry, what?
The Cougar Coaster is over.
The Cougar Coaster has finally crashed. But that doesn't mean it stops. It just continues.
I mean, you can argue it's crashed a few times.
Yeah, just you throw a new set of paint on it.
Look.
And,
I want you to physically animate the Cougar Coaster this entire year, just off of the win probabilities of Houston games.
Done.
I want this. All right.
Oh, got you.
Mark it down. Put it on the idea board or whatever. Mark it down. I want that. And maybe we could go back last year, because that's when we started the Cougar Coaster last year. Because I was expecting some craziness, but like kind of UCF just, Houston was up 10-0. You're like, oh.
No, not for a second did I think a 10-0 Houston lead was anything but a mirage.
So are we, what do you say? Roller Coaster Tycoon 2?
I was going to use the original.
Okay, I'm fine with
but
that.
I have both installed, right? I literally have both installed. I was just making sure.
That's not surprising. I say as if I wouldn't.
Yeah, right.
And don't.
hey, it's GOG. Those games have no space, require no space whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I keep Alpha Centauri installed all the time on my computer just so I can open it up every once in a while and play it. For like 10 turns and then try to walk away.
How does that work?
The game not very well, because it always starts with like, just a couple of turns, and then 5 hours later.
I'm sorry, it was only a 10-6 lead. I apologize.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, that was it.
At no point did this game feel like it was a real thing.
No, it wasn't. UCF just kind of
Yep.
They put it away in the third, and that was it.
The fun game at the time was the old Oaken Bucket. Purdue and Indiana got into an absolute slugfest. Just
awesome.
Like two teams with 3 wins, just wailing at each other for for every ounce of their being. And then Purdue wins it. A Purdue team that has been like nothing all year, just bad. 17 points in the fourth quarter. Just charges at them. Indiana fans, like this is what got Tom Allen fired. And they're going to pay Tom Allen so much money on a 2020 COVID mirage. Because they extended him with big money based on that 2020 season.
This game, I hate when there's a game that by the time we get a video clip of it, like something's already happened.
Oh, no one was watching this for a while.
So it was fine. But like, so Purdue hits a field goal and they go up 15-14. I'm like, 15-14. So I can tweet this. I'm like, hey, it's a good game. And then by the time the video came out, Indiana took the kickoff back for a touchdown. That's 21-15. Then I'm like, okay. Like, damn it. Like, this game had me messed up with the scores so much. And there was just some big plays. It was great. And we found out that the old Oaken Bucket weighs 23 pounds. Added to the spreadsheet.
I love the chains on the bucket being in the shape of the school's logos. I love those. Mm-hmm. Like, that's great. I love that. The Governor's Cup. Kentucky did what they do best and that's fuck up Louisville. Just absolutely. Louisville has this beautiful shiny season. Oh, it's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's like, we love it. We're holding it very dearly. And then Kentucky just goes, fuck you, and just punches them. It's great.
Louisville is always fraudulent. The lesson here is that Louisville is always fraudulent. Not to take any credit away from Kentucky, but I would just like to take this moment to remind everybody that Louisville has another loss, and it is to 3-9 Pitt.
That's, I mean, if you want to claim it's fraudulent, that's the one to point to. This is a rivalry game, whatever. The Pitt losses. Yeah.
No, Louisville's always a lie. This is a science fact.
I was going to say we should give a lot of credit to someone who beats Louisville.
That's true.
I think that this was such a beautiful, like, it's hard to even put words on this, in that, because this is the same kind of shit, like, during Lamar Jackson's great year. Kentucky still fucked him up, because that's what Kentucky does. Saying in the same... What?
That's what they do every time.
It's
like, you want to have fun? Nope. Sorry, Louisville. Nope, can't do it. Can't let you do it. Just, I feel like Louisville's at the beach making sandcastles. They're just done with the perfect sandcastle, and then like Kentucky just comes in and just kicks the crap out of the sandcastle. I was like, no, you can't have this sandcastle. No,
you can't have good things.
You can't have good things. Sorry, you can't do that. Nope.
You're saying that Kentucky is causing lamentations?
Miami of Ohio 17, Ball State 15. This game was fucking baffling. But the most interesting part, like, Miami won this because they blocked Ball State's go-ahead field goal. That's the kind of thing you love to see on these kinds of games, where it's like down to the wire and they get the block at the very end. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that block basically gave them that berth into the MAC title game. So if they would have lost, there may have been a weird tiebreaker with Ohio, but Miami, Ohio blocking that Ball State kick, which it feels like Miami, Ohio just deals Ball State like heart-crushing losses at the end of the year.
Yep, it's what they do.
They did it. Brutal.
This means that the MAC title game is going to be Toledo versus Miami of Ohio, which ought to be a really great game. That is 11-1 Toledo versus 10-2 Miami of Ohio. Navy SMU 59, Navy 14. I watched this for about a half hour before it became very clear that SMU was going to just take a garrote to the neck of Navy and put them down as quickly as possible. It was brutal.
It was.
But SMU's quarterback goes out this game.
Yeah. The
big injury. I'm actually going to look up right now to see what they said about it.
He suffered an injury in the second quarter. I don't know how bad it is, but they got to play on Friday against Tulane, so I don't know.
I'm looking it up right now to see what that looks like.
This was one of those games that I looked for at one point, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if this game is... No, it's not interesting.
Annihilation.
Brett Lashley has said, this is from Andy Hodges from Inside the Mustangs at SI. He was in a lot of pain. It's in his ankle, Lashley said after the game. In fairness, a lot of smaller bone leg injuries resemble an ankle at the time. Is it a sprain? We're not sure yet. He was in the locker celebrating with the team in good spirits. Wasn't in any pain right there, so there's a chance. They did not. Apparently, SMU doesn't have an MRI at the stadium near the stadium, which is weird. Hey, Pitt Girl, Signetti's gone.
Woo! We're free.
Yep.
I'm so happy.
Duke 30, Pitt 19. Doesn't really matter. Nothing in that game mattered at all, except that it got Signetti gone.
Didn't watch it. Know nothing about what happened, except that Pitt allegedly had its worst punt of the entire season during this game, and that is really saying something.
Wow.
It was hard to find video evidence that this existed, again, because no one was watching this who was capping anything.
No, I think this might have been the least consequential game that happened all weekend. I was listening to the College Football Blitz during part of this game, and I think this game might have been like the only game in the window that wasn't mentioned because there weren't any stakes, right? Like at least some of these end of season games, even if it's not like the top teams, there's some like bowl eligibility or some rivalry aspect.
Yeah.
And this game had neither. And I was not really paying attention. I had this on like the quad box with YouTube TV, but I was distracted because I noticed that I was only getting Napoleon commercials during the Michigan-Ohio State game. So I was busy just paying attention to try to watch all of the commercial breaks on the quad box to see if I could spot other Napoleon. And I think they just went real heavy into Michigan.
That feels correct.
Know your audience.
Troy 35, Southern Miss 17. Troy clinches home field for the Sun Belt title game here. They will host. Who are they hosting? Commish.
App.
Who's Troy host? Troy's hosting App for the Sun Belt title game, right? You're muted, sir.
Yes, Troy. They beat Southern Miss, and
they host App now, right?
They host App State, which is the only team to beat JMU. So that, even though JMU would probably be in this game, but it kind of feels right since App was the only team to beat JMU.
Did you see? By the way, I got a sort of complete circle for the Sun Belt.
Oh yeah.
The only thing I had to change, I had to go outside the conference for one thing to get a complete circle of sicko for it, was that Army beat Coastal, but Army lost to ULM.
That's right.
And so that was the one team I needed to just slot in there to get a full circle. So thank you, ULM, for that. Hey guys, Sam Houston State got a second conference win.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
And then a fight breaks in after the game because Mitsu goes for the game tying field goal, misses it, and then Sam Houston starts talking shit to the kicker after he misses it, and it turns into almost a brawl.
Yeah,
I want to say it was Stephen Godfrey, a young Cub reporter, who said that this was the most fight he'd seen at Mitsu in years.
Woo!
That was spicy.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Houston had been a victim of losing close games. And then, so finally one kind of goes their way, so it doesn't go to OT.
I know.
So the Sam Houston player just talks so much trash to, like, the Middle Tennessee kicker, who is despondent. Like, just completely despondent on the ground. Like, hand on the helmet, just so sad. And then he starts talking trash to the kicker, and then another MTSU player, like, just pushed that guy to the ground, and then here we go.
Northern Illinois 37, Kent State 27. Northern Illinois almost fucked around and found out here. This is Kent State, 1-11 Kent State. Northern Illinois needs this for a bowl win. They had the highest percentage chance of winning of any of the edge teams this week. This was supposed to be just like a walkover, and Kent State kept it so close.
Yeah, I know it's a 10-point game there.
And that is an illusion.
That is an illusion because Kent State had a play on their 1-yard line. They needed to go 99 yards in like the last 3 seconds, and they tried a bunch of pitches. And the only problem is, like, they completed the pass at like the 3. So at their own 3-yard line, and then they tried to start pitching from there. There wasn't really much room to go backwards to pitch. And then they pitched, and then I thought it was a safety. I was like, we're going to have a safety alert. But they ruled it as a touchdown, and NIU recovered. So
this 37-27 is not. Like,
it should have been 31-27.
Right. That is the correct one. Let's have a little presentation. Pitt Girl, do you have something to tell the class?
I was at UMass UConn. It was great. I had a lot of
battle for the U.
Battle for the U. The U belongs to UConn for the second year in a row. Amherst was great. It's very cute. Their football parking has solar panels over it, kind of like at the Link, but it also felt very homey to me as I am used to tailgating under an overpass. Kind of the same thing. The stadium is super cute, very small, but like it's nice. And UMass has its own local brewery partnership beer, which is pretty good, and I enjoyed it. And the game was fun. UConn 31, UMass 18 final, but it was a little bit silly at the beginning. UConn initially scored on a pick 6, and then ESPN marks this as a blocked PAT. It was not. It was like a bad snap, whiff on the kick, and then They then UMass recovered and ran it back for about 40 yards, but not far enough to convert for 2 points, which was delightful. And then at the end of the game,
we could have been 6-2 to start.
we could
which
have
would
been 6-2 to start. There were many, I have to go back and count, failed 2-point conversion tries in this game for some reason.
UMass kept trying.
UConn kept trying too. I don't think any of them succeeded. Maybe one. But yes, enjoyable. UMass tried a little bit and, was trying to come back / garbage time. All of their they did an anti-shit game, I guess, in that all of their points were scored in the second half. They still lost, but a valiant effort was made in Amherst on senior day.
There we go. I'm glad you got to go. I'm glad that you got some live updates from the game. It looked like a lot of fun. The beers looked amazing. Eventually I will make this trek because I as much as a Texas person I am, I've got New England in my heart.
Oh, it was great.
That's such a great.
Almost made it last year, but
life comes at you fast.
Well, couldn't travel because the wifey was with child, so it didn't want to do. You said how many 2-point conversions failed? Because I got it.
Several. At least 4. Yeah.
5.
Okay.
5 failed 2-point conversions. Oh, sorry, I said that wrong. 5 failed 2-point conversions. So the second quarter failed 2-point conversion for UMass. I'm sorry, third quarter failed 2-point conversion for UMass. Failed 2-point conversion for UConn, and then they alternated UMass, UConn, UMass in the fourth quarter. This basically all started because the first touchdown had an extra point blocked, and set it on the path of the failed 2-point conversions.
It was amazing. I also sat. There was like a whole French Canadian high school football team or something sitting in front of us. So shout out to the Vert et Or from somewhere. I don't speak French.
Sure. The green and gold. We love them.
People were trying to get you to come see them at the game. I don't know if you passed out.
I completely missed that. I apologize. Too many notifications.
Yeah, our notifications are just a dumpster fire on Saturdays, guys. It's hard.
Yeah.
Too many notifications.
God damn it. This was great because like I said, I've got New England in my heart. I'm so glad you got to go. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. If you want to hang out with us in Discord and make sure we see you when you yell at us, for $5 a month, you can absolutely join our Patreon and get access to our Discord where we have our weekly rankings debates. Right now, we're getting together we have folks in there working on lists of restaurants nearest to FBS stadiums, more of that stuff for off-season content. We're going to be doing lots of stuff with bowls coming up too. So if you want to come in, chat with us, this is a great time to join because now that the games are down to less of a fire hose and more of a trickle, we can actually focus on each game as much as we want to. That $5
thing that we definitely weren't able to do before.
For also with that $5 a month, you get access to our special podcast, which is Commish's Corner, where Commish takes you through the weirdest and wildest seasons and plays and games of all time. He covered the 1987 Oregon State game, the 83, the Donut Bowl, which was a lot of fun. Also, I was wearing my centenary hoodie today and reminded me of the famous bajillion punt game between Texas Tech and Centenary that Commish also covered.
Yeah, Commish and Beth.
Beth helped on that one. Yes,
Beth needed help because I was dead after the third quarter reading all the plays and all the punts. Yeah, you saved me there, so I appreciate that.
We still have our Black Friday sale going on our merch store, which will roll over to Cyber Monday, sickoscommittee.org. I guess when you listen to this, it won't be there anymore, but we'll probably have sales again going into the
Yeah, we may do another sale because I need to figure out when the shipping will stop before Christmas.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
I'll probably do another sale again. But if you caught it this weekend, thank you so much. It was probably one of our best weekends ever.
It was great.
For merchandise. If it's ending on Tuesday, so by the time this podcast comes out, you won't have that. But we'll do another sale. And then one thing I wanted to note, I don't know, it is time for the Sickos Committee Championship poll.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna get that out on Monday or Tuesday, depending on how crazy my day back at my normal job is. And definitely want to get that out and get the voting. Then after that, we'll do a food drive, and we're going to have some special swag if you hit a certain donation amount, and we'll get something shipped out to you regarding swag, special merch that is not in the store.
Sounds good.
So you have to donate to get this stuff.
So, Commish, you have to go back to secret day job tomorrow. You don't celebrate the first day of deer murdering season?
I do not know.
Okay.
Oh, is tomorrow the first day of?
It's not, but Pennsylvania schools are still, many of them are still off.
It is traditionally the first day of deer murdering season, but the state moved it. But we still observe it on Monday.
Yes. It's first day of deer murdering season observed.
That's very Catholic. We don't know what day it was. We changed the day of it, but we just celebrate on the same day anyways.
First day of deer murdering season observation.
I was going to say saison.
Oh, no.
Also, Pennsylvania folks, before you get mad at us in the mention, we know that bow season started already.
Yeah, we know all about our archery. It's fine.
Were they going to get mad at you for that?
But you haven't been able to legally murder deer in like 2 weeks, so...
People just twitching like, I gotta go kill some deer.
We had bow hunters in Frick Park here in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's good. Deer meat is good. It's some really good venison.
Check out Message Board Geniuses podcast. They dive into the places that no one wants to go, especially this time of year, because, oh my God. We have a YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. I got some stuff we're working on for the off season. We're going to make that a little bigger and make it a bigger part of our thing so that if Twitter continues to light itself on fire, we at least have another place to go.
Instagram too.
Our
Instagram
Instagram and our Blue Sky and I keep trying to see if I can get a VK.com account.
Pitt Girl, are you still handling our TikTok?
No, that's Joey's responsibility. I'm too old for TikTok.
Okay.
We have a subreddit too. It's
I'm gonna do. Can I do the TikTok dances? Are there dance memes I can do?
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yes. Hey, kids. I'm an almost 40-year-old on TikTok. Sorry, I'll make sure you're not drinking next time I say things like that.
Jordan, the middle age is calling.
No, it's great. Look me. I'm on fleek. I'm doing a dance.
Jordan's midlife crisis is getting a TikTok.
Maybe we can bring back Leet.
Hey, you're currently on my midlife crisis, okay? you're along for the fucking ride of all three of our midlife crises.
Woohoo!
I'm just gonna call this your quarter life crisis and just mark it down.
Yeah.
This your quarter life crisis. You're doing very well. Also, our Substack. We have our Sicko synopses recaps every week and some special stuff on there. And lastly, as always, Home Field Apparel is where we get our comfiest and coziest clothes. Right now, I'm wearing my Black Friday purchase, which is my Tulane hoodie, and it's so soft, and it looks great. I'm also wearing Tulane joggers. I am more Tulane than man at this point. If it's your first-time customer, use our offer code YES, ha, 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 yes, that's 3 ha's, for 15% off your first order. But we are going to they're having a Cyber Monday sale again. And never mind, you're not going to hear this by the time we.
Well, no, I think there's a special extension of the Cyber Monday.
Okay, well there we go.
So it may still be there. Use our link. You gotta use the link. Use the link, and then type in Cyber Monday, the code Cyber Monday, and then you'll get, the discount and everything like that. And then we get, some sweet kickback money.
Yes.
Off of you using our link because we are Sickos influencers.
Sicko influencers. There we go.
Sicko influencers.
We roll back to Saturday.
What?
I meant Saturday.
Linear time, as always, was a mistake.
Is a mistake.
True.
Rice 24, FAU 21. Rice is bowl eligible. And how did they celebrate it? They posted a bowl of rice.
That's right. Bowl eligible. And then they posted the picture of, we are the one true owl.
Oh, yeah, because but here's the thing, that neither FAU or Rice played Temple, I believe. So really, UTSA beat all three. And they're claiming to be the one true owl as a Roadrunner. But I don't know that, if a Roadrunner wants to be an owl, I really can't say anything. Okay, you be you, Roadrunner. Tulsa 29, East Carolina 27. You want to talk about a non-consequential game that was a lot of fun? This game had no stakes. This game had nothing to like. Two teams that were never going to be bowl eligible. Two teams that had so many problems all season long. But this game ended up being super close. The Hurricanes beat the Pirates. That feels correct historically.
Yeah. That was this quad box, man, would not let me stay on this game.
This is your Apple TV quad box.
So it's the Apple TV quad box through like the ESPN app there. So I can only get like ESPN Plus games there. So or like ESPN like normal, 2U, ESPN 3 games, stuff like that. For some odd reason, this would not let me stay on this game. And I had to keep fighting to put this game on because the first half was 24-20. And then I could not get this game back on. And then there was really not many points in the second half. and Tulsa won it on a walk-off field goal. I really, really enjoyed this game. The Hurricane slowly defeated the Pirates.
This was a slow-moving Hurricane.
It was.
Syracuse 35, Wake 31. Syracuse is bowl eligible, baby. On the CW.
Nunzio
Cabanilli. Also, I have to roll back now that we're doing Italian stereotypes. Our boy, Tulane kicker Valentino Ambrosio is absolutely killing it for Tulane. And the best part is, I went to his account, and the picture, the cheaply photoshopped picture we made of the wave with the pinchy hand is his pinned tweet.
Yeah,
beautiful
from last year's Cotton Bowl.
From him making the extra point to give Tulane the 1-point lead, and to win the Cotton Bowl essentially. That's his pinned tweet. He actually reached out to us on Instagram.
Oh, awesome!
And he was like, "Can you make this as like a shirt for us?" I'm like, "Yeah, if you can use it, go right ahead and sell it as merch." And then he asked like the Tulane people. They were like, "No, I can't use the Tulane logo as my own merch." So I was like, I can get Jordan to make something, and I never asked Jordan until now.
Whatever. This is why we're a business, folks. The
That's
best
right.
business ever.
We're in the business to make money here.
I actually had a moment where I was like, we need to have like after bowl season's over, we should just have like a sit down and be like, what do we want to do this year? Like an actual meeting.
We're gonna talk about monetization.
Yep, this is where we hit our sellout phase, kids.
we need a meeting. This is the meeting.
Yeah, this is the meeting. Welcome to the meeting.
Fucking meeting. Welcome to the meeting.
It's content.
We do need to have a meeting, but I'm going to tell the story about Puddles and the jet ski. So
it can't be content then. There we go.
I mean, all of our listeners canonically are on the committee. So, I mean, basically by listening to the podcast, you're joining the meeting. You're responsible for taking notes, by the way. I'm hoping someone would do that. So
Ben does that for us.
This is our quarterly earnings report. So I hope you're all writing this down.
I can't wait until we start doing this on freeconferencecall.com.
If you want to know how badly my fraternity's meetings and notes were, I was the recorder for our meetings.
Oh no!
I was in charge of it.
Who did that?
I was in charge of all correspondence with National.
Did you communicate by carrier pigeon?
Oh, hold on. Did you communication by carrier pigeon?
No, when National Guy came, they were like, you should send like a flowers and a cake to your sister sorority when they celebrate their national whatever. I was like, I can't keep track of when my birthday is. Do you really think I'm going to be like, on this day we're going to send flowers to our sister sorority? Nope. They didn't like us anyways. UAB at North Texas. Did anyone actually watch this game?
No.
Because this was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was 42-42 until North Texas kicked the walk-off field goal. Two teams with no defense, just wailing on each other for 60 minutes. It was beautiful. I had this I was at make my own quad box on my desktop screen, and this was just every time I looked down, more points. Done. It was great. Exactly what I wanted. No one was going to make a bowl game off this. It didn't matter. It was fun. Old Dominion 25, Georgia State 24. A last-second Old Dominion win, and Georgia State blows a 21-0 lead. Georgia State, I'm sorry I said anything nice about y'all, because apparently you only work off spite. Georgia State opened the season 6-1.
Yeah.
On a 5-game slide.
Still
they got
bowling.
the bowl eligibility and we're just like, fuck it, done.
They pulled the Rutgers.
They came what they did. They did what they need. They decided that they needed to do.
They did a shit season instead of a shit game. They got their wins and they were done.
Who was that a couple years ago? That was Baylor? No, Baylor did the reverse. Baylor started 0-6 and made a bowl. Was it Maryland, I think, one year that started 6?
No,
was
Baylor
the other way?
did the 6-0.
Okay, Baylor did the shit season. Okay.
Yeah.
We're officially going to call that a shit season, where you do the 6-0 and the 0-6. Very close.
Syracuse almost did that last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yes, I remember that.
Almost did that last year. They were 6-0, dropped to 6-5, and then they won the last game inexplicably, which was, I think that was against BC, but I can't remember for sure.
San Jose State 37, UNLV 31. San Jose State beats UNLV and gets held out of the conference title game because the computers don't like them enough.
That's some bullshit.
That's rough. That's rough, y'all.
Every time we bring up these Mountain West computers, I just think of Femputer from Futurama.
I'm thinking of like the timekeepers from Loki. Same idea, yes.
You're a little bit like, well, I haven't watched like any new TV because I got 2 kids and I don't have the only time I get the TV is to watch college football. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's like I mean, maybe I'll watch some like Futurama reruns or something.
Is this like Stardew Valley and they just didn't bring the computer enough like yummy pastries or whatever so it won't talk to them?
Yeah. You didn't. Wait, hold up. Am I using this right? You didn't rizz up the computer enough. Is that the word the kids use? They rizzed up the computer?
I believe it is rizzed.
Oh, yes.
It is rizzed indeed.
He is rizzed. Hold up. Okay, Gen Z, I got your Easter sermon right here.
Listener,
Price is rizzed.
Listener, I just want you to know that Jordan pulled a folding chair out of nowhere and is currently sitting on it backwards.
Hey, kids.
And
Let's talk about how Jesus rizzed up. Talk about how Jesus rizzed up his flock.
Let's talk about the resignation of Christ.
The resurrection. Thank you. Yeah. This Easter sermon is going to be great.
The resurrection. I don't know how much longer I can do this.
Well, we get to at least explain the joke now.
Okay,
Only an hour and 15 minutes into the show.
Louisiana 52, ULM 21. Terry is gone.
We finally get the explanation.
And why are you doing this awful running joke, Commish?
Okay, so the bet, if you listen to the previous podcast, I had to do the Cajun man voice all this podcast, and apparently I had to sing the Cajuns fight song. I'm trying to find lyrics. It's really not too long, but it just says, "Fight on, Cajuns, fight on to victory for the red and white. We will sing of triumph and glory for our team tonight. You will hear the rage of the Cajuns. So let's give a yell. Hustle up and bustle up and fight on to victory."
Bustle up?
Bustle up. That's right.
Please gather your skirts in such a way that the hem doesn't drag in the dirt.
That's right.
And it makes your ass look really fat.
That's right. Fight on to victory. Go UL, and it's spelled GAUX, of course. Go UL. So yeah. It was not close.
Lafayette, Louisiana, University of Louisiana, Raging Cajuns at Lafayette. Hold up.
That was your tweet. Everybody thought it was me.
No, that was entirely me. That was me. That was entirely me talking shit. Hold up. I got some more titles for this school. Give me a second. I gotta find it. The Southwestern Louisiana Industrial Institute, Louisiana Industrial Institute of Liberal and Technical Learning, University of Southwestern Louisiana at Lafayette, whatever you want to call it. The Raging Cajuns of Acadia. They win. They go to a bowl. ULM goes 10-2, 2-10.
ULM goes
2-10, 0-8 in the Sun Belt, and Terry Bowden is gone. Although now that Bunky Perkins made the joke about what was burning in the smoke in Monroe being the paper mill, I am going to Photoshop a picture of whenever ULM picks their next coach, white smoke coming out of the paper mill.
Yes. That's West Monroe, by the way, but still, you could still smell it on campus if the wind blows the right way.
There you go.
the first time I smelled it, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And they were like, and then like nobody could figure it out because all the freshmen were like, "What the hell, man?" And then I was like, "I can't make it stop. I don't know what the smell is." And then it was the paper mill. I'm like, "Oh God, let's hope the wind doesn't blow." I think it's easterly wind. Is it when we get it?
Yeah.
It was very bad. It was very, very bad.
Yeah, folks, if you've never smelled a paper mill before, it is.
Oh.
It's not quite as bad as living downwind from like an industrial farm, but it's real close.
It's bad. It is very, very, very bad.
Shout out to Southern Blair County where you can experience both.
Also, long stretches of Interstate 95 in South Carolina.
Or all of North Jersey, either way.
I think North Jersey just smells like that.
Beth, I'm gonna have to say something nice about Arkansas, about Marshall. So you just know it's gonna happen. Marshall 35, Arkansas State 21. I'm gonna say a weird sentence here. Marshall stopped the offensive powerhouse of Arkansas State.
New sentence.
Like,
They did.
I don't think anyone's ever said that before, so that's cool. Marshall
Well,
did
maybe-
put out
maybe-
a very
maybe in the maybe in the years where they had Gus Malzahn, something like that. They had prolific offenses then, but yeah, we haven't said it for about a decade.
Marshall put out a very weird statement from their director of athletics. This is a quote. Notwithstanding today's result, the entire season has not met the expectations we have for our football program. At Marshall, we honor our agreements, our commitments, and we strive to meet and exceed our stated goals. Obviously, we all know that we have work to do. Coach Huff is committed to do that work, and we will support the changes he has made and will continue to make. We are confident that together we can bring back championship-level football with Coach Huff as our head coach. What does that mean?
Oh no,
It means they fired Clint Trickett this morning. That's what it means.
Okay.
It also means, generally speaking, the public vote of confidence is a bad sign broadly. It means he's on the hot seat next season and is probably going to get canned.
Same thing with the Sam Pittman, right? Out west, Arizona 59, Arizona State 23. It was revenge match for 70-7. Arizona put the pedal down. Now, they pulled some folks into the last quarter. They weren't playing all the way down like I thought they were going to.
Yes,
This was revenge from 70-7. And Arizona State fans, the minute they saw it going this way, were like, I am done with this. I do not need to see any more of this.
Arizona definitely got some retribution.
Want to try that again? Take another take. Get a clean take.
Yeah.
Take.
Retribution.
There we go.
No, I couldn't do it.
Arthur, use that one instead. Use that take instead, Arthur.
Okay.
Just shaking his head.
You got me going here. You got me doing a little repetition.
Yeah, I mean, this was Jed Fish is wonderful. This Arizona team's fucking firing on all cylinders.
Pac-12 South
Arizona.
champions, Arizona.
Yeah, and hang the banner. Who the fuck's gonna tell you no? As the Shutdown Fullcast said many years ago at this point, people do it because they want to. And if you just hang it, who the fuck's gonna tell you anything? Claim titles, hang the banners, fuck it. BYU, Oklahoma State. BYU, you were so close. Like Oklahoma State looked so bad.
Shout out to our community member that's been on the podcast. I think the last time he was on, he did the 1-900 haha yes.
Yes, that's right. That was so good.
It was so good. But yeah, definitely. There's one play in this game that
I'm finding
You're
it.
looking for it? Okay.
The hurdle, right?
The hurdle. Yeah, the hurdle. I asked for this video. I was like, I have to watch it. I want to see like an end zone shot of this hurdle, but you can play it for Pitt Girl and Beth because it is phenomenal. This hurdle.
I have watched this
so awesome.
so many times, and I'm not going to cackle laugh right now because I've seen it too many times.
Yeah, well, I probably still will.
I promise you. Oh my god. Okay, here we go.
It's so great.
This is a fake punt.
Fake punt.
Good pass. Hurdle him. Nope. He just goes balls first into some dude's head.
He didn't need to try to hurdle. Like,
Oh my god.
Could have run around him. There was either side. There was space.
He was like, "No, I'm gonna hurdle." And That's a defensive end trying to hurdle.
We converted the fake punt. I can fight God.
I can fly.
And just there's it reminds me of like this is
so much.
I've seen enough anime in my time that like this would be some young woman in a skirt going like landing face first on a young fresh faced protagonist male. Like that's what this would be. But this is like the how you say it, YAOI, yoi, whatever you say. This is like the gay fanfic version of that. Okay, where one football player just lands like balls first on the other, and then they fall in love or something. I don't know.
Someone set this to Dirty Dancing music, please.
It's so good. I can fight God. Nope. Because in his head, you know what he saw. You know what he saw. Oh, just I'm gonna leap.
I am
It's great.
10
Here's my
feet
shot.
tall.
Oh, I'm gonna do it. And the defender was just like, he's not actually gonna do that. I'm standing up. He knows he can't clear me, right?
Nobody puts BYU in a corner.
No, that's more of a Liberty thing.
Oh my God.
I had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you and you.
Oh my God.
This game goes to overtime. Oklahoma State pulls this shit out of their ass.
I don't know how Oklahoma State made it this way. Like their running back, like Gordon, he scored all their touchdowns. It was just Oklahoma State should have been dead and buried multiple times in this game.
Oh, they were dead and buried.
They're like a zombie. I don't know what it is.
24-6 going into half.
I have no idea how they pulled this off. They pulled this comeback. I have no idea what they did, and that's the only thing that scares me. If like Texas gets out to a big lead, like you just can't kill Oklahoma State, like unless you're South Alabama or something. But really, I really don't know what to expect in the Big 12 title game. It's insane. And then the game-winning play in OT,
yeah,
which was like a crossing route. He makes the tackle, and he strips the ball from the tight end while the tight end's like falling over forward, and the leg was still. I don't even know how.
Did he get in the end zone? Yeah, it was.
No end zone there. This was the game-winning.
Well,
yeah.
The key was that the defender was underneath the ball carrier he was stripping the ball from.
Yeah.
So he wasn't down because the defender was in the way. That's really what it came down to.
It was just an amazing play for them to win the game, because I thought BYU was going to do this. I thought BYU was going to get to bowl eligibility. I'm sure our friend Mike, driving all the way from Tulsa, he was like, I'm expecting to get blown out, but I'm just here to have fun.
See, I kind of felt the opposite when I was watching this game. That I thought it kind of reminded me of, like, if you watch pro wrestling, like where it's scripted, you'll be like, okay, like I can see like what they're doing, but obviously like the match is not going to end in this way, right? Because like this is what we need to have happen.
It just can't go there. The plot can't do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Like all the time Oklahoma State was kind of like on the ropes. It felt like if you're watching pro wrestling and it's like, okay, like, they're going to have to kick out of the pin because the match can't end like this. Right. Like that's kind of how it felt to me just the whole time. Like, yeah, BYU was doing some stuff, but they were doing just enough to not win. And that, when you're a big underdog and you're going for the upset, that is something, you're going to come up short if you just can't do that last thing to win. And consistently throughout the game, they had opportunities here or there. They just never were able to actually kill, right? Like it's like, like one of those, or like an action movie where it's like, well, yeah, like you beat up the main character, but you didn't kill him.
Nope.
And if we know anything about Pistol Pete, you got to make sure he's dead.
You got to make sure Pistol Pete's dead. And make sure you don't run out of ammunition.
App State beats Georgia Southern in their rivalry game 55-27.
Oh.
App State will be the Sunbelt East.
Sunbelt East.
Maryland 42, Rutgers 24. Rutgers got palindromed by Maryland. Happens to the best of us.
Palindrome to Maryland?
Yeah, it happens to all of us.
Palindromed by November, Maryland.
That's the rough.
Ooh.
That's rough, buddy. Also, this means that Tagovailoa becomes the Big Ten passing leader of all time, I believe.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
What was it then?
It's Drew Brees. They had it wrong.
That feels
That
right.
does feel right.
By yards or what?
Nope. They said they made history. Like, Brees has more yards.
I'm not seeing that.
Some Purdue fan tweeted that, and it shows that the Big Ten. I don't know if it's just like regular season or something.
Because what I'm seeing here is that I see Talia Tagovailoa. I see Purdue's Curtis Painter from 05 to 08. Then Adam Weber at Minnesota, and then Purdue. This just reminds you that the Big Ten was not playing actual offense for like a decade until everyone's caught up.
Still aren't in a lot of places.
But apparently Maryland.
So I don't know if this is just like regular season and they don't factor in like bowl yardage.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a ton of places where there's weird stats about whether or not to count bowl games. It also could be just counting like Big Ten conference games. There are a lot of ways to claim a record.
Yeah, so this, from what I see, it's just something that, I mean, somebody like a Purdue fan was just like, it's not Curtis Painter. Drew Brees has nearly, like, here it is. I found the tweet. So, let me throw it in the chat real quick. Yeah, Drew Brees still has like 800 more yards than the Maryland QB, Tagovailoa. So if you look at the career passing, it says Brees has 11,792 passing, but I don't know if it's something. It says like the Big Ten all-time passing leader. I don't know what it is, but like Brees has more than Painter. But then you look at Sport Reference, and then it says Brees is like fourth, behind Adam Weber from Minnesota. So I don't know how they're.
Who knows? Okay,
it says an asterisk after a player's name indicates bowl stats are included. So Tagovailoa's bowl games are not included. Brees's are not. So there's a little dispute there, but I want to give a shout out to Brees, and it's not because I'm a Saints fan, but Purdue. Just want to make sure the Purdue folks are represented. So.
Virginia Tech absolutely obliterates Virginia in the Territorial Cup.
This was not fun.
Oh, Commonwealth.
That's right. This is not fun for Virginia at all. Virginia Tech, 5-3 in the ACC, 6-6, signs of life. Like if Nebraska could have done this, the 6-6, I feel better about the direction of the program. Like Nebraska, like.
It's amazing what better. 6-6 makes you feel. Like mentally, it makes you feel better.
One more, like if they could have just got over the hump, but then for Virginia Tech, it's like, okay, this is good compared to last year. They have an identity of good coaching, and they took it. Like Virginia did not have any spiciness whatsoever. They didn't even score until the second half.
Did you guys see the absolute spite fest?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Virginia got the last laugh here.
Oh, they did.
Go for it, Pitt Girl.
So Virginia Tech, Brent Pry took the Virginia Tech team back out on the field after the game to take a picture. Virginia grounds crew turned the sprinklers on.
That's right.
That's classic. That's the classic move. Wisconsin 28, Minnesota 14. Wisconsin knocks Minnesota out of their bowl game hopes. Ha-ha, but not quite. The Golden Gophers have the last laugh.
That's right.
Because Colorado State got them back in. We'll talk about that in a second. Apple
that
Cup.
was.
Go ahead.
Dude, I love like the Wisconsin, the run for the axe.
Oh yes,
it's so awesome every single time. Apparently, there was a part of a video I didn't get because like PJ Fleck was trying to sing, and then the Wisconsin people stopped celebrating for like a little bit to let him sing. but I didn't get a video of that. Somebody was saying, get the video. I was like, I can't find it. Nobody got that. But them running to get the axe, I love it. Like, just run. They always run to go get the axe, and then they're just celebrating this giant axe.
A real goddamn axe.
A real axe. I love it. It's one of my favorite celebrations.
Apple Cup bullshit. Washington 24, Wazoo 21. So close, Wazoo. You almost did it, and you made it hurt for Washington. You made Michael Penix look human. They hunted his ass like the whole game. Nothing was comfortable. Nothing felt good. Washington survives this.
Yeah,
they are undefeated.
They had an amazing play call that really it seemed like it was an option, and then it was just a great misdirection.
It was great. It was beautiful.
And they picked up the first down, and then the kid makes the kick to win the game, and then they give him the scholarship, and then my demented brain goes like, if he missed it, he wouldn't have got a scholarship.
Executed on
like,
the spot.
like it's just like execution on the spot.
Fed to the Huskies. Dubs eats him.
That's it.
10-win New Mexico State. New Mexico State 20, Jacksonville State 17. The best part was there's a video of New Mexico State singing the song in the locker room. Everyone's dancing, and Jerry Kill's there just smoking a cigar. Life is fucking amazing. So one of our followers takes a picture and goes, at first I was like, who's the fucking old guy in the room? Then I realized it was Jerry Kill. This, like, New Mexico State's having the season of the literal decades. This, if they win a bowl game, this might replace the 1960 season.
Unironically, Jerry Kill Coach of the Year. Like
wobble baby. Not even like wobble on. We'll buy a keg of booze and then we'll drink it till we wobble in our shoes.
That's right. I mean, apparently, somebody said that's some sort of California drinking song, but whatever.
It's based on an older drinking song, but yeah. I mean, but like Georgia Tech's fight song is a song that we used to use as a drinking song at Dartmouth too. Like everyone has that version.
Everybody has like some sort of like similar song back in the past. It was all like shared tunes or whatever.
That's everyone. If you moved 30 minutes down the road, you could use the same song and no one would fucking knew you were using it. Yes. How many people use that tiger mascot?
Well,
for God's sake,
is that how was all the like one of my favorite. On Wisconsin?
It seems that way.
I think you mean on Altoona.
Hey Beth, I need you to stop me real fast because I had a moment where I was like, off-season project. We should call as many high schools as we can figure out and see whose fight songs are Big Ten fight songs. Yep, that's the face. Yep, exactly right. Cool.
Jordan, there are 500 school districts in Pennsylvania alone.
Oh, I ballparked at least 25,000 high schools. And then to figure out which ones have a band, and then figure out which ones band directors would know that their songs were actually based on others, because a lot of them probably wouldn't even know it if they didn't know the song.
It's like, what would you have to do to call the... Hey, can I speak to the band director at the school?
Yeah, but I've done that. I've cold called band directors 1,000 times.
Cold calling band directors. Hey.
Yeah. And then
calling the band directors. Hey, band director, I got a question.
I need to know if your fight song is Almost Canson.
Almost Canson.
Oh my God.
We're going to lose all the podcast listeners.
Yeah, like this is...
I'm sorry, I lost the bet. All right?
This is our new incredibly ill-advised potato chip ratio.
Oh yeah, no, this is... Like, if you thought the potato chip ratio was a bad idea...
This is so much worse.
This is uncatalogable.
This is
unknowable.
Worse.
This is if I went to a PhD advisor and I came to them with this idea, they would tell me to just like to do it in like the county, and that would take me a year. Yeah, this is an awful idea. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something though, because I need to know how. I need to find as many schools as possible that use on Wisconsin. James Madison worked through some things, guys. James Madison 56, Coastal 14. James Madison worked through some things and just ran through Coastal at home. Sorry, at Coastal, I mean. Florida State 24, Florida 15. Heartbreaker, Florida. You almost did it.
This game was so dumb, and I only watched half of it, and it was so dumb.
It was exactly what you want this game to be. Florida State, the better team in almost every way, about fucked it up.
I missed the guy who got ejected for spitting.
Yeah, that was classic Florida State game. in the swamp. It was loud. It was just no one was having a good day. Florida on their second or third quarterback. Florida State on their second or third quarterback.
Second and third quarterback.
And we're back to this thing again where the College Football Playoff Committee theoretically takes injuries into account when they pick their rankings. So you don't have your star player. Ta-da.
The backup was more than serviceable. The only reason Florida State played the third, and again, I only watched like half of this game, but the only reason the third stringer even got time is because the backup got like targeted and had to go out, and then everybody thought he was not going to be able to come back in, and then he came back in anyway. So,
just this was a perfect example of like Florida fans. Yes, they were annoyed that they lost this, but they were happy that they made it gross. Like, if you're not going to be great, make sure your rival has absolute hell. The Swans, the Requiem for the Pac-12 network was Notre Dame 56, Stanford 23. Just an absolute mauling of Stanford. It was always going to be this way.
I'm sad that this game wasn't more competitive, just for the enjoyable internet schadenfreude of having a bunch of Notre Dame fans try to figure out why they can't watch whatever is happening.
Well, that was already the problem, is that a lot of people I saw on Twitter were like, here's, go to those websites where you just get a stream. It's okay. And Notre Dame's like, no, I want to pay for this. Just tell me where I can put my money and pay for this game. And we're just like, that does like literally cannot do that, guys. This is like something that your money cannot solve. Hey, A&M, something money cannot solve. These things happen.
The only thing that money cannot solve.
Texas State 52, South Alabama 44. Remember when South Alabama beat Oklahoma State? That was a weird time. We're going to look back and that's going to be a weird one. This was the game that our friend Jay Arnold was at, by the way, and he had a great time in San Marcos.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I did not go to West Virginia 34, Baylor 31 because it was raining so hard the entire game and I would have been so miserable. And having to stare at those two fucking uniforms the whole game, I couldn't do it.
I looked at hotels, and I'm there to the booking page, and I'm booking this. My wife is down. Let's go. Let's get out the house. Let's go. Let's do it. Then like the last moment, we're like, let's check the weather, see what the weather's look like, and it's like it just rained. The whole drive would have been raining for 3 hours up, and then the game was just rain,
just torrential downpour.
No. And then I was holding out hope, whatever. And then like 2:30 a.m. Saturday morning, the baby's sick, fever. And I'm like, I wouldn't have been able to make it anyway. So we just didn't do it. I wanted to go. It was a great game. Like my 6-year-old would have enjoyed it. It was a fantastic game. Fun to watch. As a neutral, of course. Baylor fans probably just hate themselves so much. I think they're just like, I knew this was going to happen. And then West Virginia fans are like, hey, we beat somebody that does not have a winning record. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the West Virginia way.
That's all we knew how to do.
8-4 West Virginia. That's feeling real Alamo Bowl-y. No, maybe a little too high. Maybe a little too high.
Alamo Bowl. I really would love West Virginia, like in the Alamo Bowl.
I think that's gonna be like Oklahoma.
Oh.
I think it's like Oklahoma. Yeah.
I hope not, but
we'll see. They'll take Oklahoma over West Virginia.
Oh, guaranteed they'll take Oklahoma
if they have a chance to.
Yeah, I think maybe if it was like 9-3 West Virginia.
Yeah. Or like
they maybe would have got to.
Like.
Yeah, no idea how we could have managed that.
No idea. Impossible, they say. South Florida 48, Charlotte 14. Bowl eligibles.
Bulls eligible.
South Florida fans going crazy on this.
I beveled their logo because it's been since like 2018.
Yeah.
That's 5 years. That's 5 years. You get a bevel. 5 years, you get a bevel for making a bowl game in 5 years. That's my arbitrary rule. I don't know if I followed it or not. Whatever.
Fuck it.
It's a rule that I made up on like Saturday because of like they made a bowl. Like Syracuse hadn't made a bowl since 2018. I was like, well, actually, Syracuse was in the Pinstripe Bowl last year. And they're like, oh, I totally memory hold that. I was like, well, I have not. I had to issue a correction. But, really, and like this was amazing. I was like, I didn't want to like bevel until like maybe 4 minutes left in the game.
Oh yeah, no, because
I was like, I'm not jinxing South Florida at all. And Charlotte didn't score anything in the fourth quarter, so you're good. Bowl eligible. Shout out to the South Florida fans, like basically crying tears of joy in our mentions. Just so happy. I was like, I can't believe it, sickos. Thank you for sticking with us throughout this time. And I was like, congrats on making it to the other side. Again, now don't let the expectations get too high anymore. Okay, take it easy. Enjoy what you got.
Okay,
get some rest and relaxation before your bowl game.
In the bowl game. That's right.
Okay.
No.
We take great expectations, but we set it in New Orleans.
Maybe they can go to the bowl game in Boca Raton.
I was trying to get the first paragraph of Great Expectations in my head, and I can't quite get it enough to do it funnily. Clemson beat South Carolina in just a really gross game. This ended up being 16-7. Right. This is just the absolute, like, assiest the way this game goes. Clemson wins the Palmetto Cup Bowl.
It was like 16-7, and I was like, I don't think South Carolina's got any juice.
No, nothing left at that point.
And they just couldn't do anything. Clemson's defense, mean.
South Carolina scored that 7 in the first quarter, by the way, and then just nothing. Just stopped.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, most fun game of the 7 p.m. one.
Oh my God, yes.
Armageddon in the snow. Iowa State 42. Go.
1 second. Farmageddon.
Iowa State 42, Kansas State 35. Okay, Iowa State at some point, I got to double check. Was it the whole game that they had no drive longer than 4 plays?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because they would be short run, run for 82 yards, touchdown every single time. This happened over and over and over, and it was driving snow.
Here we go. I love Iowa State's scoring plays. Here we go.
Please.
I'm just going to read them. Iowa State, 71-yard touchdown. That was the beginning of the game. Basically, their opening drive.
How many plays? How many plays was that?
Literally the first play of the game.
Essentially, yes. Hold on, let me get the play-by-play. One play, touchdown. It was it. First play of the game, 71-yard touchdown run. The next drive for Iowa State, by the way, was a fumble. Then they punted. Then 2 plays, touchdown. 81-yard touchdown, 77 yards. Punt, end of half, they kneeled. Touchdown, 2 plays, 82 yards. A 79-yard touchdown pass. The next drive that Iowa State got it, 4 plays, 72 yards. This was kind of a short drive. They only had a 60-yard touchdown run there. Then the drive after that, they actually 4 plays, 60 yards, a 33-yard touchdown. They're kind of slowing down. It's a little bit slower than they had a touchdown drive, 3 plays, 76 yards. They lost some yardage on that drive and then threw an 82-yard touchdown pass.
Yep. Boom.
And then they had a punt, and that was the end of the game. That was all their scoring plays.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Iowa State just out here chucking up threes.
Just
chucking up threes and making all of them.
Just an entire game of me playing NCAA.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What are you gonna do? We're gonna have these like short running plays. Establish the run. I'll establish the run. Establish fucking quarterback sneak and just run that shit. Stop me.
Also, the running back that did most of that is their third stringer. And guys, I think maybe you should have been starting him.
Let me get his name because it's going to be really important. Last name is Sama. Abu Sama.
Abu Sama the third.
He's a freshman. Just 276 yards on 16 attempts. 3 TDs. Average run was 17.3 yards. Fucking hell, guys.
Yep. It's crazy. Like he has 72 carries, 610 yards rushing, and 6 touchdowns on the year. Mm-hmm. In this game, basically almost half his year total. It's just crazy.
He was trucking dudes the whole time.
It was so great. Awesome.
This game
was awesome.
Yeah, this game was great. The other thing that was great about this is that, like, obviously Iowa State is the attention grabber here, but like this game was 42-35 and K-State was like doing the K-State thing where they just very slowly grind down the field and score, and then Iowa State would sprint back and K-State would get the ball back and go back down again and score, and Iowa State would sprint back. It was great. It was so much fun. I watched like all of this game.
Average number of plays per drive for Iowa, 3. Average number of plays for K-State per drive, 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's it. Like, that's what you got to know. Kansas State's offense was on the field so fucking long.
Do we have like how many plays Iowa State ran? Yeah, look, the time of possession, K-State, 42 minutes, 12 seconds.
Yep.
Iowa State, 17 minutes, 48 seconds.
Yep.
Iowa State had 2 turnovers also.
It was beautiful.
And so much snow and 2 different snow people.
Amazing.
Yes. Commish, I have to give you credit for this one. We have 9-3 NC State. NC State wins over North Carolina 39-20. 9-3 NC State, but you know what? Next year it will be 3-9 because the world has to go back to 6-6. Water finds a level. Don't give me that look.
NC State is eternally destined to be 8-4. The universe found a variance this year.
Oh.
But 3-9 NC State with Dave Doran just seems like impossible to me in ways that I find difficult to explain.
They are 514 overall lifetime.
Yeah.
They've got to slide back towards the 500 mark. This was Mac Brown getting the fuck out of there. He was so angry.
So bad.
His post-game presser was just not happy.
I mean, you gotta give a shout out to Commishtradamus with an accurate prediction.
I don't have to. Wyoming 42, Nevada 6. Wyoming gets